The problem is none of those guys are ever saying that.
That's true.
That's the problem.
That's what I was going to say.
That's the problem. We don't hear Shaq calling himself the GOAT. And Shaq does a lot of hard casting. He's on television. He's always talking about other people. Matter of fact, I believe he has Steph Curry as his GOAT right now. So he's never talking about himself. See, when we get to this point, and this is the problem that I have with Bron, is that instead of letting other people glorify you or give you your flowers, or a guy like me come on television that been through the trenches with you since childhood, let me come on and tell the world why you're the GOAT. You sit back and just accept the flowers.
LeBron James just reignited the biggest debate in basketball. When the conversation turned to the greatest player of all time, he did not hesitate. There was no diplomatic response or careful wording. LeBron confidently said he would never choose another player over himself. As soon as those comments aired, Kendrick Perkins and the First Take panel jumped into the discussion. Because this was not just another headline from LeBron. It was a direct statement that he believes he stands above Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Shaquille O'Neal, and every other NBA legend. Perkins immediately understood what those words would do. The GOAT debate was about to explode all over again. That is where the story really begins. Perkins listened as the entire panel reacted to LeBron putting himself at the top of the all-time list. The moment carried extra weight because Perkins has spent years defending LeBron whenever critics questioned his legacy. He was once his teammate, has repeatedly praised his greatness, and has often argued that LeBron deserves to be mentioned at the very top of the GOAT conversation. So if Perkins questions the statement or urges people to slow down, it does not come across as personal criticism. Instead, it sounds like someone saying that admiration should not replace an honest evaluation of basketball history.
Recently, just talking about if everybody was you could draft everybody, who would you draft? And he went ahead and said that I would draft myself. This was in a timepiece, and he was talking about I would draft myself, and I feel like all the other great players would do the same thing as well. They would draft themselves.
LeBron's response was confident, but it really should not have surprised anyone. The biggest competitors always believe they are the best to ever do it. Michael Jordan had that mindset. Kobe Bryant carried that same belief. LeBron James is no different. You cannot spend your entire career under a microscope, starting as a teenager, without developing that level of self-confidence. The issue is not that LeBron believes he is the GOAT. The real controversy begins the moment he says it publicly. His supporters treat it as undeniable truth, while his critics see it as pure arrogance. Before long, the entire basketball world is arguing about the GOAT conversation all over again. Kendrick Perkins understands exactly why that happens. He knows every argument in LeBron's favor. The NBA's all-time scoring record, incredible longevity, for championships, countless finals appearances, and the ability to dominate the league across 3 different eras. Those accomplishments are historic, not exaggerated. Very few players have ever built a resume that comes close. But once LeBron declares there is no debate, the opposition pushes back even harder. That is because Michael Jordan's legacy remains one of the strongest cases in sports history, backed by 6 NBA titles, 6 Finals MVP awards, 10 scoring championships, and a perfect record in the NBA Finals.
LeBron James about to win his 4th NBA championship with the Los Angeles Lakers. Pressure is the word today, and no other player has had or overachieved like LeBron James did over his NBA career.
Kendrick Perkins is far from being a LeBron critic. Over the years, he has consistently defended LeBron and highlighted why he deserves to be in the GOAT conversation. He has even challenged the idea that Michael Jordan's place at the top can never be questioned. That is exactly why his response carries so much weight. Perkins understands that appreciating LeBron's greatness does not automatically end the discussion. You can believe LeBron is one of the greatest players the game has ever seen while also recognizing that Jordan's resume still deserves serious respect. Those two ideas can exist at the same time. That is where many fans lose perspective. Every time LeBron makes a confident statement, some people immediately treat it as the final answer. They argue that the GOAT debate is settled simply because LeBron believes he is the greatest. But that is not how these conversations are decided. Naturally, LeBron is going to choose himself. Michael Jordan almost certainly would have done the same. Kobe Bryant would likely have given a similar response as well. The greatest. Competitors all carry that level of confidence. It comes with being an all-time great. In the end though, the GOAT debate is not determined by a player's opinion of himself. It is shaped by the achievements, impact, and legacy that his career leaves behind.
Term is never going to be something that I ever will get high or low about, It just doesn't exist with me. I never played against Oscar Roberts or Jerry West. Would have loved to. Absolutely love to. Just as competitive as I am. And I actually learned from them, and we, paved the road to the Kobes and the LeBrons, right?
That is exactly why Michael Jordan's name resurfaces whenever LeBron comments on the GOAT debate. Jordan never needed to convince the public that he was the greatest. Instead, he has often suggested that comparing players from different eras can unfairly diminish the legends who came before. For many fans, that approach only strengthened his legacy. His championship resume, iconic performances, and the respect he commanded on the court already make his case without much explanation. LeBron chose a different path. He openly embraced the conversation and backed himself without hesitation. There is nothing wrong with having that confidence. But the moment you declare yourself the greatest, every part of your career comes under the microscope. The finals defeats, the super team discussions, the struggles during the later Lakers years, Jordan's unforgettable highlights, and the longtime players who insist MJ brought a different level of dominance, all become part of the debate again. That is exactly what Kendrick Perkins and the First Take panel were responding to. Once LeBron makes that statement, his entire basketball legacy is placed back on trial in the court of public opinion.
Here's what LeBron should do. Anybody who thinks he's better than Jordan, go take out the tape of every game in the Dallas series when Nowitzki beat him. And he averaged 17 a game, couldn't score in the fourth quarter, and was completely outplayed with a better team, Wade and Bosh.
Whenever analysts argue in favor of Michael Jordan, they usually point to the same unmatched accomplishments. The 6 championships, an undefeated finals record, 10 scoring titles, elite defense, and the relentless competitive drive that defined his career. Those achievements have been the foundation of Jordan's GOAT case for decades. Even the biggest LeBron supporters cannot simply ignore them. Jordan was far more than an incredible scorer. He dominated on both ends of the floor. He delivered in the biggest moments. His influence stretched far beyond basketball and helped transform the sport around the world. At his absolute best, many still view his peak as one of the highest the NBA has ever seen. At the same time, LeBron's resume is just as compelling in its own way. That is exactly why the GOAT debate refuses to disappear. His longevity is unlike anything basketball has witnessed before. He has remained among the league's elite for longer than most superstars even stay in the NBA. He has captured championships with multiple franchises, elevated different teammates, and adjusted his game through several generations of basketball. Over the years, he has evolved into an elite scorer, playmaker, leader, and the centerpiece of every system he has played in. That is why Kendrick Perkins has defended LeBron's legacy so often. His argument for greatness is not built around a single accomplishment. It comes from the complete body of work he has assembled over an extraordinary career.
James, he's got it. Coming to the end of the third quarter. LeBron James, a shot at history. LeBron stands alone.
That is one point where many LeBron supporters have a strong argument. No player in NBA history has maintained this level of excellence for such an extended period. The numbers he has produced over the years are almost beyond belief. Eventually, that kind of longevity becomes a form of greatness all by itself. Remaining healthy season after season is incredibly difficult. Staying mentally driven for 2 decades is just as challenging. Keeping an elite level of play, while a new generation of stars enters the league every year, is something very few athletes have ever accomplished. LeBron has managed to do exactly that. It is one of the biggest reasons many believe the GOAT conversation has changed over time. But Kendrick Perkins also understands why the debate never reaches a clear conclusion. If the conversation centers on longevity, Jordan supporters immediately shift the focus to peak dominance. If championships become the main argument, LeBron fans point to differences in competition, teammates, and eras. If career statistics take center stage, Jordan's perfect finals record quickly enters the discussion. If the debate becomes about presence or competitive aura, LeBron supporters highlight his unmatched versatility and complete all-around game. That is why there has never been a simple answer. The outcome usually depends on which qualities each person values the most when defining greatness.
But you got MJ or LeBron. You play against both of them in their prime.
MJ.
MJ. Is it like clear cut?
It's clear cut. Everything he does is just masterful, man. I mean,
The basketball world remains divided. Fans have different opinions. Former and current players disagree. Even analysts cannot settle on one answer. Many of today's stars spent their entire childhood watching LeBron dominate the NBA. Others were raised on stories of Michael Jordan's legendary career, where his biggest moments became almost mythical. Veteran players often point to the fear Jordan created every time he stepped onto the court. The younger generation usually highlights LeBron's unmatched versatility and all-around brilliance. With everyone measuring greatness by different standards, it is no surprise the debate never reaches a final conclusion. That is what makes Kendrick Perkins' response more meaningful than simply saying LeBron was wrong. Perkins is not questioning LeBron's greatness or his place among basketball's all-time legends. His point is that declaring yourself the GOAT does not settle the conversation, it brings it back to life. The moment you place yourself above every player in NBA history, people naturally start asking for the evidence. They immediately compare your resume with Michael Jordan's. Then, Kobe Bryant's name enters the discussion. Soon Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson, and Larry Bird become part of the conversation as well. Holding the crown has always required more than confidence. It requires a legacy that can withstand every comparison.
There are two categories in which LeBron James is the absolute GOAT. Longevity. Nobody has been as great for as long as LeBron James has been great
We agree.
for this period of time. The GOAT of longevity, and category number two, the GOAT of talking about who's the GOAT. He's the GOAT of that conversation.
That is where this conversation ultimately lands. LeBron has every right to believe he is the greatest player of all time. Kendrick Perkins has every right to remind people that one statement does not settle a debate of this magnitude. Stephen A. Smith can continue making the case for Michael Jordan. And fans will probably keep arguing about it for decades to come. The reality is straightforward. LeBron's comments did not close the GOAT discussion, they gave it fresh life and another reason to dominate basketball headlines. Maybe that was never an accident. LeBron understands exactly how powerful his words can be. He knows a single quote is enough to take over the entire NBA news cycle. He knows television shows will spend hours breaking it down. He knows social media will explode with endless debates. He knows Michael Jordan's name will immediately return to the center of the conversation. That influence is part of LeBron's legacy. Even this late in his career, he can still shape the biggest story in basketball with just a few sentences. But Perkins made sure the discussion stayed grounded. He reminded everyone that believing in yourself is not the same as proving the argument beyond debate. LeBron is free to call himself the GOAT, just as everyone else is free to compare his resume with Jordan's and every other all-time legend. Is he truly above Michael Jordan? Is he unquestionably ahead of every player who ever lived? Those are the questions that keep the GOAT conversation alive. LeBron delivered the bold statement, and Kendrick Perkins along with the First Take panel made sure the difficult comparisons followed. The moment Jordan's name entered the discussion again, the debate was not ending, it was beginning another chapter.